Alright, so here's what we know so far about the iPhone 15 lineup coming later this fall. Expect to see the same lineup from last year with the regular iPhone 15, 15 Plus, 15 Pro, and 15 Pro Max. Reports have surfaced surrounding the 15 Pro Max and a new periscope telephoto lens which would allow for increased optical zoom functionality rather than just the 3x alone found in the 14 Pro Max. Now this is much better than digital zooming and cropping, and since this does require a decent amount of hardware space to pull off, this lens will probably end up being exclusive to the Pro Max. This helps Apple's efforts in differentiating the Pro Max from the regular Pro as well. To piggyback on that point, Wi-Fi 6E should be coming to the Pros as well, which provides wider bandwidth, lower latency, faster connectivity speeds, and more. This goes hand in hand with a new X70 chip from Qualcomm, which the whole 15 lineup will use, and it'll be more power efficient and provide broader coverage. There should also be an updated LiDAR sensor, which would help with additional camera stuff like better depth sensing, better portrait shots, and improved AR functionality. Dynamic Island will be back again, of course, only this time it's expected to make its way to the base iPhones as well, and an integrated proximity sensor is possible along with that. The whole 15 lineup just might get new OLED panel drivers, making for a more power-efficient display that could help with battery life. Along with this, there are rumors that the display's peak brightness could get a bump up from 2000 nits to 2500 nits. Now it looks like the Pro models specifically will be getting an updated design with thinner bezels, more curved bezels at that, and perhaps even the thinnest bezels in a smartphone. We're looking at 1.55mm to the 2.17mm the 14 Pro has. Apple may opt for titanium over stainless steel this time around for the Pros, which is a more robust material, and it's because of that the phones are expected to be slightly lighter. The phone will come in at around 0.5 millimeter thicker, which could point to a bigger battery and perhaps slightly smaller camera bumps. Now, a few months ago, sources stated that the Pros could come in a new dark red, almost burgundy color. Now, this would fall right in line with Apple's usual theme of a new color for the new variant. Along with that, there could be a chance that Apple gets rid of the flat sides in favor of something more curved, and that would make the phones, mainly the larger ones, more comfortable to hold. A while back, signs were pointing to a set of solid-state buttons instead of the usual moving physical buttons users are used to. This would be something like the Taptic button from the older iPhones, the trackpads in MacBooks, or you can think of 3D Touch, simply put. But more recent reports came out saying that due to some tech issues, this won't happen until probably next year. So it looks like normal buttons will be used for this year's iPhone lineup, although, interestingly enough, other rumors have recently pointed to these solid-state buttons still happening this year regardless, so we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it does look like a volume rocker will be making its way back as opposed to the separate buttons that we have now. Now, there may be a new button replacing the mute switch. Now, this would be similar to what we saw with the Apple Watch Ultra, serving as a customizable multi-purpose action button, allowing users to toggle different settings and maybe even use it for camera functionality too. The whole iPhone 15 lineup is expected to receive the switch over to USB-C, although it's looking like the Pros will be getting a faster, more powerful version of the port, supporting USB 3.2 or Thunderbolt 3, whereas the regular 15s will support USB 2.0. This is a huge and long-awaited change, especially for those deep in the Apple ecosystem, as it decreases the number of necessary cables and adds more accessory versatility and faster charging speeds. The Pro models will be getting Apple's A17 chip built on a 3nm process, which would be a first for the iPhone. This will, of course, bring the usual CPU, GPU, and machine learning gains, and improved performance overall and better efficiency top to bottom, better battery life too. And in addition to that, the Pros may be getting a bump with an extra 2GB of RAM on top of the 6 from before. The base 15 models will be getting the A16 chip that the 14 Pros got last year, and they've been rumored to be ditching the glossy finish on the back for the frosted glass that we see on the current Pro models, an interesting yet welcomed change. There's been speculation around the possibility of a price increase for the Pro models, but as of now, nothing is concrete, so while it would make sense for an increase to happen, what with all the new hardware and features, or even a price decrease for the base models due to not so great 14 Plus sales, either way, we'll just have to wait and see. There was also speculation about a super high-end iPhone 15 Ultra. Now, this would make a lot of sense with the Apple Watch gaining the name, and this is what things like the curved edges and the solid-state buttons could be reserved for. But it doesn't look like this new iPhone will launch this year and could instead launch next year, although there is a chance that Apple could still use the Ultra name this year. The iPhone 15 lineup should get announced early in September, with a release date in the middle of that same month. What do you think of the upcoming iPhone 15 lineup? Let's talk about it in the comments. Also, I tagged the smartphone that I used in this video, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, within the YouTube product tag feature sponsored by YouTube themselves, so check it out. I hope you enjoyed. It's been Zach, and thanks for watching.